Welcome to the jungle. We got fun and games. Dave Hawkrider, which I'm going to get into who he is, has just handed me what appears to be a metal cock ring. But we're going to just... No, thanks, Dave. I'm good. I got one. I'm all right. You okay with that? All right. So, hey, look, everybody's there. Let's get this party started the right way. Seamus is terrified. He's got a knife out. This one over there brought his long-range pew-pew. And we got a devilishly handsome other guy than me right here. So let's see who's jumping on board. Let's look at comments. Bet you look, Caroline West is there. Let's put a banner up to let people know what's happening here. From my supremely powerful right hand, we got Mike, the man Striegel, of German descent, I might add, right?
Yes.
Okay. Mike? He said Olaf.
I know. I like to mess with people. It's one of those things.
A true cigarologist, geek, and nerd lover of all things cigar, Dave Hawkrider. Also another German young man too, right?
This is true. Half German.
Half German. Look at that. Two halves make a whole. That also could be completely misinterpreted. So just,
And will be.
So then immediately to my semi-limp, flaccid left, which is not quite what you guys are thinking, we got an Irishman, a true warrior. This is Seamus, the Irishman. Tully, what's going on?
Morning.
Jesus, fuck, everybody's so damn limp around here. Anyways, yours truly, the Cubano from Cuba doing it the Cuban style with some non-Cubans. This is Duncan Ramon Echevarria. I am most definitely Frida Kahlo at your service. And by that, I have a Frida Kahlo mug. I enjoy my coffee in a Frida Kahlo mug. She was very masculine. I liked her.
Great eyebrows, right?
Oh, dude. I was all about the eyebrows, Living Large, what's going on, man? Saludos a la gente. Real quick, in Espanol, because we don't ever want to lose our brethren in all these amazing countries from Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, Honduras, Nicaragua, everywhere that cigars are made, manufactured, and that good people smoke them at. Muy buenos días, bienvenidos al Maduro de la media mañana. Tenemos con nosotros a Mike Striegel, tenemos un gran amigo Dave Hawkrider, tenemos, of course, como siempre, al irlandés loco Seamus Tully, the crazy Irish, y su servidor Duncan Ramón Echevarría. Aquí estamos para servirle. And no, thank you for the metal cock ring. I am good.
Yeah, I picked up on the loco part.
Yeah, loco.
I like how he thought he had to translate for you.
Yeah.
So, Dave, as you were handing me your sexual accoutrement there, and I had my deep V cutter. Did you have maybe a hesitation as like, it's a torpedo I'm about to smoke. Jesus Christ, he's about to do something different.
No, I mean, I've used a deep V and a torpedo, perfecto, whatever you want to call it before. However, sometimes it's easier with a straight cut, especially when cut on a bias.
And you do your torpedoes or perfectos or, again, a non-parejo on a bias predominantly?
With a straight cut, absolutely. With a deep V, it's kind of hard to do on a bias. A deep V, you kind of just want to do your thing.
There's a bias for those?
Yes, we all hate them. No,
well, I kind of figured that, but...
So real quick, I'm going to translate because
they're pointy, isn't it?
One of the things about Dave and I is we're both cigar nerds. So there is a little bit of a sort of like a rule of thumb that when you're approaching a torpedo or any of the classic shapes that are pointy for the layman's terminology. Well, no. Yeah, if it's that pointy, you may got. See, that's your buddy over there.
You switched us around and we got all screwed up.
The sort of thing is that when you approach it, because of the slight angle, you almost want to cut on a bias, just a little bit on a bias with a straight cut. At the end of the day, one of the things that I always tell everybody is it's your preference, man. However you do it, that you feel the most comfortable with, rock and roll with it. One of the tips or tricks, I look for basically where the flat surface is, and I let my fingers guide me. So when I actually put a deep V cutter or any odd cutter to it, I don't go on a bias. I go straight down, but I'm going basically parallel or in the same cut as the widest part of the cigar, as opposed to doing it on the narrowest part. It keeps a little bit more integrity. It keeps a little bit more free of errors. But torpedoes, generally speaking, are very forgiving. You can cut a little bit. If you're not happy, you can go back and cut a little bit more, and you don't fear the unraveling, on it. Maybe. But what do you think about that? Let's see what happens. Well, what the fuck could happen, right?
Roll the dice.
What could happen? Let's see. Yeah. Look at that. Little pretty little fish lips. Nice, easy breezy.
Forgot to make the hi-ya
A
sound.
big reason for cutting on the bias, Mike, is just so a lot of times the torpedoes can have a tighter draw on them.
Mhm.
So if you have a straight cut and you cut on the bias, you have to open it up and make it
So you get a better.
a better draw.
Better draw,
Better,
okay.
better pull, yeah.
I'll tell you what, man.
Not always the case.
If this was ever gonna have a tight draw, that son of a bitch went right through it all, because this is smooth, clean, easy, perfect pull, nice. This is very, very nice.
So Duncan,
Okay, so take it away, James. I'm sorry, I forgot you were in there. I'm not accustomed to you being. You kind of like sneak up on me.
well, I was gonna ask you to tell the viewers what we're doing today, and
we're doing cigars today. There.
He has a knife and he will stab you in your pineapple
Seamus,
shorts.
Seamus brought 3 great cigars. And I'm gonna assume because he's got a good taste in picking out some great cigars as well, that he brought us. He did not know that Dave was coming. Otherwise, I'm sure he would have had something for Dave. But Dave,
of course,
I handed him one of our Doña Noli house naturals, so that with his experience, he can hopefully give us some feedback on that, which I'd like. But he brought for Mike, myself, and for him 3 unbanded, unringed, nothing on them, naked cigars to sort of do a blind test. Is that pretty much it? Okay.
Yep. Actually, I think we'll find out at the end. Everybody, I think, has something right now that they've never smoked before. So when I tell you what we all have at the end, we'll figure out if you've had it before or not.
Factory throwouts, I'm all in. I love it. That sweet tip gave it away. No, maybe not. This, whatever it is, one of the things that Dave and I briefly, before we started this, mentioned, it's a nice soft box press. And you said something very unique, and I'm going to be picking on him throughout the show, because he does know his shit, and I'm going to tell you guys a little bit more about him as we get to know Dave today, but I want him to also talk and introduce himself to all of us. But you said it has a nice feel on the lips or on the mouth because it's a soft box. Why did you say that, and what would be the other shape that would create a difference?
So with your traditional box press, you got,
Hard
90-degree angles, harder edges, firmer corners, however you want to describe it, which a lot of people turns them away from box press. They prefer, your regular Parejos, your rounded cigars, just because it has a better, for lack of a better term, mouthfeel, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the soft box press, it's kind of in between the box press and your regular cigars. It's kind of the best of both worlds. You get that kind of cooler, smoother draw from it being, a box press, but it's not too hard on the edges, so it feels better on the lips. It's a good in between.
I agree wholeheartedly. Also, a word that you guys have now probably heard a couple of times since we started is the terminology parejo. Oscar Rodriguez of GTO Cigars. What is going on, Big Daddy? And one of our best friends here. Óigame, todo lo mejor para usted, los hermanos de la hoja, the brothers of the leaf. Of course, my best to my mom from Oscar Rodriguez. Mima, Oscar Rodriguez te manda muchos saludos y bendiciones. Yvette Connolly, thank you very much for watching also. My mom's watching as well. We're going to behave. Nos vamos a votar bien. So the terminology parejo, or in this case, that's an Americanized sounding word of a Spanish word called parejo. Parejo means even or well-shaped, if you really think about that. So,
And that's the basic shape of a cigar.
correct. Usually the standard rounded cigar, the cap, the nice roll cigar. But there's a couple of different things that you look at also when you start stepping away from that. That's when you got, the torpedo is not a parejo. Obviously, it's a different shape. The belicoso is a different shape. The Lonsdale, Lancero, or Panetela, which we're going to get into one of those terminologies because of you, although they are versions of the parejo, they're very diminutive versions of the parejo as well. And you got what do you call those? Preferidos, which are, if you guys have seen them, pointy at the both ends.
One of my favorite Vitolas.
And he's, I'm right there with him.
But you just don't see them too much.
No,
they're not good sellers. So.
Well, they're also an odd shape. When you see something that's maybe also it graduates from a smaller ring gauge to a much wider one, similar to the well, no. It's similar to the bull, the Andalusian bull. That it starts out at a smaller ring gauge, and then gravitates a little bit bigger towards the tip, and then
start on that.
Yeah, I'm not a fan necessarily on that cigar. I'm a fan of the size and the shape because it's beautiful. It takes a true artisan to be able to do that, and it is a completely different mold and molding process just to get it there. So parejo, again, if you guys ever hear that anywhere in a conversation at a cigar lounge. It just basically means, even shape. It's an even classic shape as well. So,
good ash on this natural you got here.
Look at that.
You probably can't see that, but not bad.
It's almost inch and a half there, give or take.
Going strong.
So on the onset, I'm gonna tell you what, this one, smooth, easy, very light wood, but perfect draw on this unknown cigar. I'm a fan of already. I mean, I like the look of it, the aesthetics of the tobacco.
I have a guess for what it is later.
No crazy seams,
Just going on.
I believe that this is the Don Carlos Eye of the Shark, the small version. No, I don't think so either. If you did that, I kissed and hugged you in front of everybody. Not really. So so far I'm liking this, man. Maybe because I'm doing coffee. Mike, what are you liking about your steak? Anything?
Everything. This has got a really good draw. I don't get a whole lot of wood, a lot of peppery from the start.
Say paprika? What?
Well,
No pepper.
On the front.
yeah, a whole lot. It's really kind of loaded on that, and we're gonna wait and see how it goes from there.
Okay, so you brought these in. Do you know what you're smoking, or did you also blind? Okay, you know what you're smoking. Are you enjoying what you're smoking?
I am.
All right. Airflow, flavor profiles, anything you want to go into? Because, see, we sort of, see, you cursed yourself. You cursed yourself. It's all right. It's all right. A little epic failure never hurt anybody. I'm all in. Story of my life. So what are you getting out of that cigar flavor-wise and whatnot?
Light wood, maybe a little bit of nuttiness.
It's the fact that there's a Dr. Gabby Caffey ring here. No, I'm just saying, no, that's not it, right?
That was from before.
That was from before. Let me see. Doggone it, man. Here.
What are you looking for?
No, lean back. No, I got you.
What a host.
Dude, I'm a hoe. I mean,
I need to buy
hoe.
you one of those. You remember the old
Get him a
Dust-
bib.
Dust-
fairs?
Yes.
Get him a bib.
Dude, I'm telling you, at Goodwill, you can find them for like $3 or something or other. But you know what? Not bad. And about a good inch and a half of ash on that one.
Not a bad,
So-
not a bad deal.
We've given our feedback on the
How
mystery.
How long filler in this?
I'm going to say yes right now on that. That's the only thing I'm going to give you for the time being. So it's hand-rolled, long filler, which that's one of the things that I was a prerequisite.
Yeah.
I wanted to really make sure that whatever we brought to market, even though it was going to be a less expensive cigar, that we did not skimp on what was going inside of it. So the only other thing I'm going to say is it is a 3-country blend. And I'm going to just sort of leave it at that for the time being, continue enjoying it, Any flavors that are zinging to you right now?
Well, I've been pairing it with the cream soda, which is always helpful on any lighter cigar, in my opinion.
Very creamy.
I'm getting a little bit of caramel off of it, honestly.
Mhm.
I'll let you know. I'm starting to get to the second, third here, so things might pick up. Keep it posted.
This is nice, man. Well, I'm pairing my mystery cigar with a cup of coffee, and I like it because it's creamy. I mean, classically, of course, with coffee, sometimes with a little bit of cream will soften this up. But now, before at the onset, I'm only maybe about half an inch in. I didn't get any peppery zing. Now I'm getting a little bit more of a bite right above here on my upper lip. There's a little bit of a slight burn on the back end, which I'm enjoying it. So not bad. And again, good, clean airflow. Speaking of which, how's that construction wise? You're getting enough airflow on that?
Yeah, I am.
And
I thought you were talking to him or
well,
me?
yeah, I was talking to, in a way, looking at you, but talking to David. So,
Yeah, no problems with the construction so far. The draw on it is very smooth and open. Plenty of smoke, so not rolled well, not too tight, not too dense. No complaints there.
all right. I'm hopefully going for, at the end of this, for the Goldilocks things. Just right. Um, you showed up with a 90-pound backpack and you walked 8 miles here.
It wasn't 90 pounds. It was 50.
50. Yeah.
Small child.
Yeah. So, care to illuminate the reasoning why, which maybe in your life there's no need for that, but because I also want to dedicate a little bit of time to getting to know Mr. Hawkwriter, but I am intrigued, and inquiring minds want to know.
From time to time, I like to punish myself.
Nice.
Masochist.
There you go. There you go.
And that's about it.
And that's about it. Okay.
The Catholic Church does that for you.
Dude, trust me, we're fanatics at it, or fantastic at it, whichever way you want to go.
I mean, they are similar spellings.
Nah.
True that. So for you guys, I know it's a Saturday. You may be watching, you may not. We have with us today Dave Hawkwriter. I've known you for a little bit over a year now, probably closer to 2. I consider him a cigar nerd like me because he, first and foremost, enjoys the culture, the subculture, whichever way you want to call it. But he's a guy who really wanted to find out not just about one cigar or not. I mean, you enjoy. I see you smoking all manner of things on your Instagram. A great friend of ours, Carter Dyson, was looking through your Instagram. He goes, "Dude, this is like a man after my own heart." He doesn't post anything except cigar pics, because a lot of times you see people all manner of different stuff. Like me, I'm an idiot. I post all kinds of crap on Instagram, but like cigar guys that are really doing it. It's the cigar. You highlight that.
There's always room for improvement, but that's what I'm posting in cigars. That's what it's all about. Could they be better? Could I give you more information on this particular cigars I'm smoking? Yes.
But that's also a buildup of hopefully a brand or wherever you want to pursue in the future. This builds a good base foundation of not just friends, but also followers who want to see what you're smoking because, hey, man, I never smoked that cigar. Let me keep following this guy and whatnot.
It's always fun when you get a DM from someone like, hey, what did you think of that cigar? How was that? Or, what's your setup like? Have you smoked anything new lately? That kind of interaction's nice. Because there's a lot of cigar pages are all over Instagram. You got the skinfluencers out there. I don't even need to talk about that right now. But then you got
don't, because I got attacked for that one. I got attacked November of last year. Boy.
But then you got other guys who might have like thousands and thousands of followers, but then you look at their pictures and there's like hardly any interactions or a tenth of the likes of their followers. So, anyways, it's fun. It's a good way just to kind of get a conversation started with people all over the country, all over the world for that matter.
Well, I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of my story with Dave. A year and a half ago or so, you had an idea of eventually having your own place. You said, "Do you mind if I come and hang out through this summer?" Because you're also an educator, you're a teacher, or you were working within the educational system.
Let's just say, for legal purposes, I work in the education field.
Okay, there we go. So we're gonna leave it at that. Because again, we of course we respect everybody. We want to make sure that nothing gets said the wrong way that could impact negatively. But that being said, he said, during the summer, can I come and pick your brain? And I mean, you pretty much came almost regularly every once a week or every couple of weeks, and you showed through that you just did not want to sit in a place and smoke a cigar and whatever. I mean, you brought everything from samples that you had also picked up, and we smoked them together. You supported the shop as well. You even showed us your vision, your game plan, and your business model for the optimal Dave Hawkwriter cigar experience, which I'm deeply madly in love with it. And all I'm gonna say is, when that comes to fruition, man, I'm telling you what, you're gonna be a trendsetter, not a trend follower. Whenever that happens, is there anything you want to share about maybe your vision of your dream lounge or your dream cigar place, whether it's for you or something that you say, if we had this out there, anything along those lines you can talk about?
I'm trying to think the right way to put it. I mean, I do have a particular vision for my ideal, lounge and bar, not bar and lounge. You got to put that the right way. Cigar should be first and foremost. But when you get to break down the financials and everything else, it's kind of a different story. Not too much I really want to say right now, especially in this area that we live in. It's getting pretty saturated with new shops and lounges popping up all the time. So we'll see what kind of players stick around and who doesn't. We'll go from there. I don't want to really say too much.
I think that's a great idea. And you know what? It's funny. Dave and I drove around at the time you were living in Kannapolis, which is a wonderful city, here in North Carolina. It's south of us, but above Charlotte. And
in between the two.
yeah, and it's a beautiful, what I call the classic Americana town. I mean, it's wonderful. A ton of possibilities are there. I think with everything that's been going on, also since the turn of this year, it's been everything is on hold.
Yeah, it's a rough year for.
We saw some beautiful properties that had a ton of potential.
Yeah.
Old buildings and whatnot. I think the North Carolina Music Museum or something like that is there. I mean, just a lot of great places. So
Potential.
It's a town that for if you have a dream, if you will, that's what you begin looking for. A town that invests in itself, a city that is working to revitalize itself, and to work with businesses that want to come into that. So that was a smart move that you have that kind of look for your future endeavors. I'm trying to gauge myself because one is you never want to give away anybody's vision or plan, but I will say this much, man. The day that this young man opens up a location anywhere, the bar is going to be set. One, he knows his cigars. He knows people's skills. Anybody who works with kids has got to have people skills. Shit, make sure you don't kill them.
Sit down and shut up.
Yeah, pretty much.
Patience.
Yeah.
Yeah, that too. You almost got to be a damn saint. If you're ever an educator, listen, my heart goes out to you because you're all saints in my book. So you bring a pretty well-rounded package deal. You also enjoy good libations. I mean, your shit when it comes to good drinking.
Yeah, like that A&W.
Well,
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Can't drink the hard stuff when you got to drive about an hour.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you something because you said that. I really don't do too many sodas, but a lot of times when we were back at the old location, what was it? I think it was
it was the Dr. Brown's root beer.
man, there's something about root
They
beer.
got Mooresville? Is it the Mooresville one?
No.
No, at the old shop,
It was,
we would get them from
Groucho's.
Groucho's on the corner.
Yeah, but
Man.
you also had the A&W were
Yeah,
doing
I mean,
pretty good too.
I am. It's the only sort of like soda that I enjoy, and I'm again. Anybody chime in? I like root beer with cigars. There's just something that to me just makes sense, and I just want some really really stout, like kick-ass cigars, and the root beer sort of mellows
The
them
root
up.
beer has like a syrupy kind of sweetness, not overpowering, but it just adds a little bit of sweetness to the cigar.
It's not like drinking a Coke. If you drink a Coke, that's a little bit too much of a cola.
Yeah, I feel Coke is a little more bitter.
Well, that shit's a Cuba Libre, right? Cuba Libre with some rum in there.
Yes.
Well,
If it's
fair enough.
rum and
Fair
coke,
enough.
we're all in. Cuba Libre, baby.
Yeah.
Toronto's in America.
For non-alcoholic pairings, you're looking at soda or pop, as we say up north.
Right.
You can't go wrong with any kind of cream soda, Dr. Pepper is a personal favorite of mine. Root beer as well. Those three are probably my main soda pop go-tos when it comes to pairing with cigars. You can't go wrong.
And they help with that nicotine high.
This is a good cut. It's a good balance.
Yeah.
Normally, I can't drink cream sodas by themselves. I don't like them. They're too sweet. It's too sweet for me. But with the cigar, they balance each other out. It kind of cuts.
Yeah.
If that makes sense, the sweetness cuts into the cigar.
Yeah.
It's just a good balance.
Do you, Gabe? So you're smoking our house blend. Do you like the pairing of it with the cream soda?
Yeah, it's great. It's very, as I said, this early in the morning, a nice cold cream soda and a nice smooth. To me, this is a very light cigar. It's an exceptional pairing.
So let me ask you, because now when I smoke, and the guys know me, and a lot of people already know, I smoke and drink identically. I don't do either one fast. Do you? Because I see you. Do you find yourself? Do you smoke fast, or what is your smoking style?
I think it just depends on the setting of it. Because I'm in a comfortable environment like this, where I'm talking, and I'm just puffing. I guess I'm probably smoking faster than I normally would if I'm just sitting at home reading a book or watching something.
So you normally don't catch yourself?
But on like a bigger size, like a Toro bigger, I think sometimes I just smoke faster because, this has a really good draw on it, so it's just coming off easy. But also it's bigger, so it's cooler, so it's not too hot.
Mm-hmm.
I think when I have a smaller ring gauge, sometimes it can burn a little hotter. So I just tend to smoke it a little slower, so it stays cooler. If that makes sense.
That makes perfect sense.
And on these bigger ones, like a nice box press where it tends to stay cool the whole way through, I might have a tendency to smoke them a little faster. But
it's interesting. I'm listening to you, and I'm reminded of something that a really well-known gentleman in the industry. And the moment I say his name, it's not we're plugging him, but he's just an icon to a lot of people. Steve Saka makes some of the world's best cigars, and his trajectory in the industry is well known. What's going on, Barry? Thank you very much, Michael, for hey, happy Saturday. You got one which I want you to bring up in just a few seconds, because it's again it's a very important thing, and we definitely want to not forget that what you said earlier. The day.
Oh,
Okay, so Steve Saka, one time we were doing an event, and he said, when you're looking at a cigar, a lot of times we say, well, it gets too hot when we're smoking it. He goes, that's part of it also, maybe that we should just slow ourselves down a little. That's why I call myself, I'm a sipper. I'm not a gulper. A gulper, you're chiefing that cigar, man. You are going to town on that. I've seen you do that, but that's also, you're a truck driver. You got a lot of shit going on. Mike, you're a little bit more slower. See, Mike.
It depends. I have tried to slow down a little bit, and because I don't have the palate that Dave and Seamus have.
I don't either, man.
I
don't.
I'm trying to see if maybe I can change that by slowing down.
Okay.
makes sense.
And it's gonna probably take me a few months.
Oh,
but
absolutely.
I am noticing things that I didn't notice before.
Well, that's one of the very, very cool things that he just said.
Sorry, we need to get you guys one of those. You see them all over in social media these days. Those damn flavor wheels. You know what I'm talking about? We've seen them. People post them every so often.
Kind of like the different
it's a
little.
big circle and breaks it down. So like, you're like earth notes, your spices.
What are your thoughts about that? Before I say something, what do you think about? And I don't mean that about. What do you think about all the extra fluff? Is there value? Is it like just a mental jerk off?
Both.
Okay. That's why I like Dave. See, Dave's a real cigar geek like me, but we don't hold back, and I think what we are is, okay, real cigar smokers look beyond the fluff and find the value even in stuff like that.
Yeah. At the end of the day, it's all subjective, right? It's like anything else you ingest, whether it's food or drink. So it's just going to depend on what you're used to. If you're someone who eats a lot of almonds and nuts, you're probably going to pick up that a lot more than someone who, a vegetarian, who gets a lot of wheatgrass notes.
I've been waiting for the day that I pick up roasted Cuban pork on one of my cigars. I swear to God, it hasn't happened yet. But Lord, I've been waiting for years. I've been looking for that flavor profile, like roasted Cuban pork. I don't get it, but Saka.
Well, I mean, if you get that, you're supposed to be eating it, not smoking it.
I'll tell you what. Saka said something very interesting, and part of it was what you guys just said. But he said, if you're also smoking it so hot to the point that if you're holding it almost by the burn line right there, and you're like almost on or what, and and you're getting burned, you're smoking too hot.
Hmm.
You should be able to like literally hold it for a few seconds. I'm going 5-10 seconds, and you should not be burnt. So that's an indication that you may want to tone it down just a skosh, your speed of smoking. Kerry Horney, what's going on? Big Daddy K has joined us, the very main man himself from Stogie Road, Edición 35, and Behind the Stogie Road show. Also, one of the three amigos and powerhouses of the BCA show as well. So that's the Boutique Cigar Association. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate you guys being on board. So that day with Steve was just really, I'm telling you, when Steve Saga goes off, it's nonstop information, and sometimes it's overload, even for a cigar nerd like me. But that I took away from it as a tip that, hey, Duncan, you maybe need to slow it down. And I have caught myself doing this every now and then, like just to see where I'm at.
Testing yourself.
See, I might be smoking this one fast, but to me, I'm not, because the burn's still pretty even all the way
Mhm.
around. Then when that, after I get about an inch ash and falls off, which it's good under construction. But to me, there's no point. Sometimes
Ash
people
is
smoke
falling.
sometimes when people smoke too fast,
You
you tend to see kind of the point on the
All over the
cherry.
pineapples.
This is nice and solid and straight.
So to that event, before we jump on to Mr. Seamus right here, you said something very unique, and we briefly touched upon this in a conversation not too long ago. Why do you think the point happens? And then there's also the tunneling. So there's two parts that happen in a cigar that sometimes people question. Is it good or bad?
Well, I think tunneling and canoeing is just a result of a bad light. To me, if you mess up on just getting your cigar well lit from the get-go, it's not a good, clean, even burn, then you can really have to work to kind of even that burn out. As far as the point goes, to me, I always thought that's just a sign of you're smoking too fast. And it might have something to do more so with how well the cigar is packed and rolled. However, to me, I've always noticed if I'm smoking too fast, and ash comes off, there's a good point on that cherry right there.
Very, very good. I'm going to add just a couple of little quick things. Construction, as you said, is usually one of the biggest things that will impact your cigar experience. So let's say also the onset of maybe that center point being a little, glowing and everything else is burning. A lot of times is that ligero or that primary center, which is meant to maintain the heat the longest, also might be burning a little too hot, and it's burning the outside far faster than if you were maybe slowing it down, and it would be a little bit more even. So if you're hot boxing it, chiefing it, or just going to town on it, you're creating a little bit more of that really hot cherry. So it'll expand a little bit faster outwards, and that's when you get a little bit of that cone. The other one is if the actual core or the center of the cigar maybe is a little bit too loose, it will burn far hotter, and thereby it doesn't reach outwards enough. So that's when you get that little bit of a tunneling. So a lot of it is that construction. Sometimes somebody had a bad day rolling up the damn tables and like, that son of a bitch husband of mine, I hate him, or some shit like that. And you may get a few of them that are not going to be, done the right way. Or a lot of it is maybe let the cigars rest for a little bit also. Let them come to terms, let them make nice with the environment. And remember, it's always about not working hard. If you're struggling with that cigar, maybe just put it down for a second. Let the cigar just acclimate, even while you're smoking it. Put it down for just a minute. If that cigar is solid, you can put that cigar down for 5-6 minutes, pick it up. It should still be lit, and you can continue enjoying it. Couple of same things that if you guys have ever seen it happen, don't worry about it. Everybody is going to get that. He's getting a little bit. There you go, a little bit of the tip. He gave her just the tip.
Now,
yes, sir.
you have
The chair recognizes the Democrat over here.
Good
I
thing
love
he's
how
between
it
us.
So cool.
Does it matter if you get a cigar that's been sitting in a humidor too long? Can you still get that? Does the humidity settle?
Yes.
And then you can still get that canoeing effect because of that.
So here's a couple of quick things. I know, and Carrie can attest to this. What's going on, Matthew? Ned's Noontime Report, man. If you're not watching it, what the hell is wrong with you? Thank you very much, Matthew. We appreciate, Matt, everything you do for this industry as well. And he does a great fun show as well. So There's a gentleman who makes a fantastic line of cigars, and that is PG Cigars, Paul Garmerian. Religiously, that man, I believe it's almost every quarter or every X amount of time, he has someone that goes in his cigar establishment and does a 180 across the board. It creates a nice balance all the way around for air impacting the tobacco, for humidity to begin to redistribute again evenly. So if you walk into an environment that you pick out a fresh cigar out of there, and let's say, for example, currently right now, because I don't have a perfect environment, I have pushed my humidity to be a little bit higher and a little bit cooler in the room because it needs to protect the cigars. So you might, on occasion, come into a tobacco shop or a cigar shop where that humidity is a little bit higher. And if you see a little bit of the canoeing, that's okay. Listen, feelings are not going to be hurt. Don't go too apeshit crazy on that. You can do one or two things. You can do a little touch up, nothing wrong with that. It's your cigar, man. You do a little touch up. Or one of the tips that was taught to me, that if truly the cigar construction is on point, you hot box, which means you puff a little bit more than normal for a good minute or so, and you create that cherry to get very hot outwards. Now, heat will not come down, will not go up. A proper constructed cigar, that cherry will bloom outwards, and it should be able to auto-correct and fix a cigar. If not, at the end of the day, again, a little touch-up, feelings are not going to get hurt. If it's all the damn cigars that you picked up, you might as well tell the tobacconist, say, hey, man, listen, just want to let you know, I took pictures. 3 out of the 4 cigars that I bought from your shop, you may want to take a gauge of your humidity, maybe, move things around a little bit. A good also rule of thumb is, in any humidor, treat it like a supermarket. And I'll tell you, one of the things that I love to do is visual merchandising. Sometimes you got to move some things around to freshen up the look inside the humidor. If every time you walk in, everything's in the same place, everything, you know what? If you got your perdomos at the entrance, well, you know what? Maybe swap it out for the olivas. If you got your fuentes in the back, put them in the middle area and refreshing the whole ambiance, and that allows movement to different areas where air and humidity might act differently. So if you're not doing that in your humidor, you really should kind of look at that to refreshen the environment as well.
Now, is that only for cigar shops, or do you need to do that for say you have a 150 count humidor? Do you need to rotate them, or?
Well, you know what? It's always
just turn them.
It's always it's always good. Some people, if you got the time to go in and turn every cigar individually, rock and roll. When I ran Tobacco Plus, you can't turn every one because it was 5,000 SKUs. So that means open boxes to the public. So what we did is we treated it like a supermarket. We would rearrange things, and that. Oh Lord!
Get your coffee.
Okay, I'm good. I got excited. When that happens, you refresh the look. People are now seeing specials that they didn't see before. Like, oh my God, look, they have that amazing Tabernacle cigar. I didn't even know you guys had it. Well, it was here.
It's a good one.
Well, that way people, if people go for the same cigar every time, when you move that cigar somewhere else, they have to go past other ones that they may not have seen. And they're like, oh, well, I might like that one. And then they might get one of those, and then they're regular.
It's the same thing, when you go to market, usually the dairy section is all the way at the back, and certain things are all the way at the back and stuff.
I feel like you guys are talking about two different things. There's what Mike's talking about is this rotating your cigars for humidification purposes. That what you're talking about is moving product around.
Oh, you're talking about for your humidor.
Sales standpoint.
Yeah, like a personal humidor.
Oh, okay.
I just take my humidor and
in my head, I thought you said.
Well, you're a Marine. You just shake everything.
Well, I thought you were talking maybe 150 SKUs or 150 boxes.
No, 150 count.
Okay.
Humidor.
I apologize.
Wow.
But you're right. I think that's great.
Yeah. So on my humidor, it's like my bigger one. It's got 4 different shelves in there. Every so often, I don't know, maybe every 2 months, 3 months, I'll rotate them around. So maybe it was up top.
Mm-hmm.
I'll especially if there's one shelf, 3 rows deep, I'll move the one from the bottom up top and kind of move them around so they hit a different humidity. It's on the top shelf, maybe I'll put it down on the bottom shelf, move it on that way. Just doesn't do a whole lot. Maybe so. I don't know. But for peace of mind, it definitely doesn't
Let-
hurt.
So,
Can't hurt.
so what you feel comfortable with?
Yeah, I mean, if you're doing your humidor right and it's at the right humidity and right temperature, you shouldn't have an issue. But if
Right.
you're just gonna move some product around, especially if it's been sitting there for months and months, it's not gonna hurt.
Right.
So let me ask you a question, Dave. Are you a consumer or a collector? Are you both? What do you enjoy doing when?
I am a consumer first and foremost because I am not wealthy enough to become a
Mhm.
quote unquote collector and just have a 2,000 count humidor just filled to the brim of amazing cigars. That would be great one day. Goals.
There you go.
But
Cigar goals.
I am a consumer. I mean, when I go to a shop and I pick stuff up, I'll let that sit in my humidor for a good week or
Right,
two,
right.
just to let it adjust to my preference and what I like my cigars at humidity wise. And sometimes I'll smoke one straight out of the store's humidor, especially if it's a shop that does the humidification well.
Mhm. A shop
But
you
I
trust.
definitely am a consumer. There's only a few cigars I'll keep and save them for months and months for your birthday cigar, or your Christmas or special occasion. What I would consider maybe more like high end or just special cigars that came from somewhere that's hard to come by. But usually everything else is just whatever I'm feeling that day. I'm gonna pull it and I'm gonna smoke it.
Well, I've rarely seen on any of the things that I follow Dave on a bad cigar that you smoke. I mean, you posted. I think you're very PC to a great extent, but you also don't necessarily hold back. You got to read between the lines. When I read your stuff or when I've seen your stuff, I can tell when you're not enjoying that cigar to the fullest extent, but you're still not being a douchebag about it and attacking anybody.
I won't badmouth any companies and things like that. I mean, if I really enjoy the cigar, I'll let you know, hey, this is a good cigar. I really enjoy this. It was great. If it was just so or mediocre, hey, I smoked this today.
There's a difference between being constructive and hurtful.
Absolutely,
Right.
absolutely.
Yeah, I don't need to badmouth anybody's brand or company or because you never know. I mean, it could just be that cigar just wasn't rolled the best, or maybe my humidification was off, or it's, maybe it's just having a bad day, so that affects the way everything tastes to me. You never know.
Dude.
So I try to be amicable. You know what I mean?
And like I said, a knowledgeable consumer right here, but also one that has never held back from questioning tobacconists or those people who run the humidors, which there's nothing wrong with it. I always say it's a two-part fault if you did not get the cigar that you wanted. One begins with not the customer, the tobacconist. It's up to the tobacconist to really get to know in that brief interaction a little bit of what that consumer wants. But at the end of the day, if the consumer also is like just being, man, I only smoke Cohibas, bro, because everything else sucks. I'm like, well, that's on you, brother. God bless you. Hey, I like Cohibas too. But that's all you want to smoke because you're full.
More power to you.
Then have your Cohibas. God bless that.
You give them the fake Cohibas.
Yeah, the faux Hebas.
Oh, we've got those.
Yeah, we got a few of those. Yeah. Today is also a very, very important day, and I'm gonna give it to the military guy next to me. What is today?
Today is June 6th. It's D-Day. So June 6th, 1944, at approximately 6 a.m., thousands of American, British, and a lot of people don't know, Canadian troops stormed the beaches at Normandy. What was that?
Neighbors to the north.
Yeah,
Man.
America's
absolutely,
hat,
brother.
Canadian.
Yeah.
They started the march towards Hitler's doorstep. So,
And it wasn't Avon calling. I can tell you that much.
No. It was Springfield, Remington, and Lee Enfield.
Mein Führer, would you like Avon today? All that. No. So, to everybody, I mean, it's very rare that we might even have anyone with us still. You always see the occasional last guy from World War II. So anybody, I would say, who served or who has served, thank you. God bless you. Again, if you're in the military, definitely always thank you. A sign of appreciation goes out to me and from all of us to you guys. If you are related to somebody who was in such an amazing historical day, a son, a grandson, or daughter, whatnot, thanks to your family. We are where we are. If not, it would be Man in the High Castle. Great show. Not sponsoring this shit, but great show. If you haven't seen it, dude, you gotta see it. Philip K. Dick. Love his last name too.
It was a good show.
So, Dave, you are done with that natural.
I just started smoking for you guys. I'm not that fast at smoking.
It'll be all right. What final thoughts?
I've got no complaints, especially at that price point. For a good, just if you smoke a lot, I'm saying 2+ cigars a day, and you're not a wealthy individual, and you want something that's solid in the morning, or just maybe in the evening as a nightcap. That natural is pretty solid. Construction was on point. Didn't get too hot until right into the nub to the very end. Nice ash. Flavor notes. I'm not the biggest flavor note person, but I got a little bit of caramel off it, and maybe some almond or nuttiness to it. And it was good. It would pair well with the cream soda. It would go great. I'm a black coffee person. I think it would go great with that. And like you said, what's the breakdown to, Duncan? What's the price point on that thing?
It is $2.20. It's a 25 count. That's $55.
Long filler, right?
Long filler, hand rolled. And so now I will tell you, and I'm going to only tell you the info on that one. So there's a 3 country of origin.
Dominican is one of them?
Yes.
Honduras is one of them?
Yes.
I know the last one.
Actually, it really is. Okay, so
Ecuador?
not okay on that one. I gave part of the other one away. Not on that one. Honduras is not on that one.
Okay.
So Ecuador, Dominican, you're right.
Yes, Nicaragua.
All right, so there you go. So again, they're not going to be that hard. We really also didn't want to go like I didn't want to do something that was like uber geeky and all that stuff. And we have no. Listen, it's very simple. It's an Ecuadorian Habano wrapper. The actual filler, it's got a real great blend of Jalapa and Condega from Esteli. Well, yeah. Anyways, and those are great regions, by the way, in Nicaragua. So it's got a little bit of a dash of pepper, not huge, and that's where a little bit of that semi-strength would come into that one, or a little bit of the body, if you will. And then the binder is predominantly a Dominican as well, so it tends to soften things up, if you will, or round them out. What we wanted to do was do a cigar that if you don't smoke heavy and you've always smoked very, very uber mild cigars, let's say for the sake of argument, American Noodle, which nothing wrong with that, and you say, I'm ready to transition into something that, one, I don't want to spend a lot of money in, but two, can be a little bit more of an uptake or an increase in what I'm smoking, but I'm experimenting. I don't want to spend a lot of money. You can do that with that. Great if you're out and about in the golf course and you want to share with your buddies. Hey man, here you go. You're outside. It's a little bit on the warm side. It's not a cigar that's going to floor you. As you said, with a cup of coffee in the morning, good starter cigar. If you've been smoking throughout the day and you say, maybe I need to just tone it down for the evening, my last smoke, round out the evening with a little bit of a milder cigar, still a bit some character to it. It does that.
Like even for a newbie just getting into cigars, it's not a bad.
It wouldn't be a kick-ass cigar.
It's a good traditional cigar, in my opinion.
Let me see if I can bring up real quick here, and we're going to continue filming. We're going to just see if I can find the image for the natural. If I can pop it up, that is the Habano. Yeah, right there. So we can bring this up a little bit more.
Click your dots.
I gotta click the dots. I gotta click the
down to
zoom. Again, as you guys know, I suck at all this stuff. So
Yeah.
Okay. There we go. And
Boom.
shit, that's a
That's
little
way
too much.
Nah.
So
There you go.
what we're looking at right now was a review that was done by a good friend of ours, Daryl Everson, out of South Carolina, Anderson, South Carolina, and he breaks this down very clinically, very logically, and it can be a little sometimes too much, but if you kind of want something that just tells you a step by step, he does the packaging. Sticker on the package is meaningful, so we went with something that was representative of my mom and just the band that we like. So there is some meaning behind that. The appearance, several flaws with little mixed veins and one pronounced. Again, it's an organic product. I don't necessarily think any one particular cigar is that 100% perfect. And
mine looked good. I didn't see any
not
veins or any.
Not even upset about that. Let me see. Construction, tight seams, well-appointed cap, so that's good. The draw is loose, so it's not a heavy, hard draw. The burn nearly razor sharp and nice and wavy. One touch-up and 0 relights. Slightly flaky ash, half inch. You were getting inch and a half, so not bad. The aroma, what the heck? Let me see here. Just a hair light, smaller, light with nuts. That's what. I'm not gonna go too deep into that one. There you go.
Yeah.
Flavor intense with roasted almonds and a touch of leather. You know, I'm down with that too. Smoke full and rich. I think you mentioned good smoke output also. The nicotine intensity is about a medium, and the finish is short, so it's not a cigar that's gonna stay long on your palate also. So not bad. I'm 100%. He gave us a 4.3 out of 5. And I don't think in school I never got anything that high. I can tell you that much. That was a
Yeah, you and me both. We're about CD students.
dude. I was a straight C student on a great day. On a great day, I was a C student. I was D's and F's and a complete moron about that. Now let's begin. Let's go back now to the cigars that are mystery cigars. Mikey, how's your cigar coming along?
It's coming along good. I think I was smoking a little too slow. Because it almost kind of went out, and now it's starting to canoe a little bit, but that's probably my fault, not the cigar's fault.
Okay.
But the whole time I've had that kind of spicy burning feeling on the tongue.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, that, like I said, my palate is not all that great, but I didn't feel any other flavors or anything. It was just, that's mostly what I'm getting.
Let me ask you, if you were gonna say, hey, I'm gonna get a drink for this cigar, what would you drink with that cigar if you said, hey, this would be good with that?
Well, right now I'm drinking water. This would also go good with, cream soda, soda, something like that. But if I was going to do a libation, it would probably be a lighter whiskey.
Oh, okay, cool. A little Irish. Never heard anybody. A little Irish.
Irish is never a bad.
No, hell no. I like bourbon, maybe like a Basil Hayden, something that's not, too kick-ass strong.
Right, but not a high alcohol.
No, maybe a little moonshine. Fuck it, a little moonshine.
No, moonshine would have a little bit too much burn and clear your palate.
Conviction would not go well with that.
No.
Okay. Seamus, you know what you're smoking. Tell us a little bit more about your smoking experience right now. And I don't want to know. I don't want to see it. So what are you enjoying about it? Talk to us.
The flavor did transition about the halfway point. It went from a wood to more of a leather. The nuttiness stayed there. It was a little light, actually, on the flavor.
Were you expecting more?
Maybe, but it was a little difficult for me to pick up the notes kind of sharply. Like, it wasn't like a very standout, like, oh, that's leather.
Okay.
Like, that's
subtle.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you have to relight? Did you have to do anything?
No,
okay.
no. Burned very well. It had sort of a slant to the burn, but it never really canoed.
So that's good airflow?
Yes.
Okay, so on this one, excellent airflow, and I'm gonna concur with what Dave said earlier also. The soft box really is a fun sort of a style. On many levels, as it goes, it actually rounds out almost at the burn line, so it becomes almost like a little parejo. And as you continue, the boxiness continues to disappear, and it just allows for better smoking experience, for better airflow. What's going on, Thomas Lochry? Another good Irish boy.
Tommy boy.
Tommy boy, I tell you, Tommy boy. Fuck you, Thomas. I love you, man. Love you. A good leather kid and all that stuff.
What?
Yeah, that didn't sound.
Well, that came out wrong. Sorry, Thomas. I gave it away. Your whole leather experience. It semi sort of died on me just a hair, almost like Mike. So I just give it a little extra heat, and immediately it revamped up again. Good black mascara line. It is angled just a hair, but I think it's because of the little touch up. Other than that, nothing major. I mean, it really has been giving me good airflow, good flavor. It amped up, less spice, more of that beautiful tangy cedary that I enjoy in all cigars. Like right here, it just there's something about a cigar when it gives me this tanginess right on my inner cheeks that that's one of the things that I look for. It tells me well-aged tobacco. It's not the cheap shit. And it could be a $2 cigar that I'm smoking, But the fact that it's giving me that, fantastic. I've been pulling a good inch ash on it every time. I've dropped it several times already on me, but I'm very agitated, so you guys know that. Really, really nice cigar. We're almost coming on the 1 hour. Do you want to maybe break into us what it is that we have smoked at this time? I think that'd be great.
So my father.
Maybe.
Oh!
What do you think you're smoking?
Me?
Do you have a guess?
I have no clue.
Okay. So Mike actually has the most expensive cigar here.
Look at you.
They're all under $10, so they're pretty
Reasonable.
affordable. Yeah.
Yeah.
Budget friendly.
Yeah.
So Mike is smoking the Romeo Reserve Nicaraguan.
Ooh.
Oh, so the new one's the one
Yes.
with blue band?
Yes,
Okay.
it is the brand new one that just came out. I was
It's a
excited to
good
get
one.
that one.
I like it.
Heard it
Um,
was decent.
I set the bag of cigars on the table. I said, guys, pick one. So there's, no bands on them, completely blind. And then, you do have a My Father.
So the Florida Las Angeles.
Yes, it is.
Alright.
Okay, so Flor de las Antillas.
That's why I knew you were gonna pick that one. I was like, he's gonna pick that My Father because I know you like.
So here's an interesting thing.
Did you know that's what it was?
What I was gonna say, to me, this feels like a very well balanced Nicaraguan across the board. At no point did I think Dominican in this cigar. I wish you would give me the chance to kind of before you said what it was, but it was sort of floating already out there.
One cigar of the year.
Yeah,
Some years ago.
2015, 16, something like that. It speaks volumes for Babin Garcia. Great airflow. And if you guys are also looking for a good cigar that really is Nicaraguan smoking on that medium-ish level that you're always going to enjoy, you can say, hey, I'm smoking a #1 cigar.
And it's affordable too.
And
That's what I was gonna
And
say.
you didn't break the budget on it. Yes.
The best part about that cigar is everything you got out of that cigar, the airflow, the flavor, the mouth feel, if you want to call it that. It was $7.65.
A little mouthiness.
$7.50 for a #1 cigar.
$7.50.
Yes.
Fuck out of here, dude. I
Yes.
love it. Before you go to yours, let me give it just another hit of praise. You want to also, within the same structure, we look at Cigar Aficionado, good publication. I'm not going to go deep into it, as sort of like the gauge for a lot of these, which is fine. But there's a Cigar Snob. My father has had 3 #1s almost back to back. 2 came out of Cigar Aficionado. 1 came out of Cigar Snob. The Centurion H2k edition was #1 in that same year time frame or before or after. Again, that one is a true box press, well balanced cigar. That one has a little bit more oomph behind it. There's just fantastic broadleaf in there. That's, again, really you can't go wrong with that. That one also is around the $8-ish mark, so you can also smoke another #1 at a reasonable price. Then the last, and if you think about it, for the dollar value, it's not expensive. In 1915, in 2000,
Wow.
yeah,
Really? What?
old shit. In 2016, the #1 cigar of the year was the Le Bijou 1922 by my father. Average cost $11.50, in some places $12.
That's still not that bad.
It's
No, not
and,
that
and
far.
that's a cigar that says, "How you doing? Have you smoked the Le Bijou?"
Yeah, I've smoked the whole line of my father's here.
So I think when you look at someone who is what I call a real deal and a real don and a real master, if you want to experiment with my father cigars, you're not gonna go wrong with anything from the Tabacos Baez, which are $3.50, and is the only short filler that he does in a box. At $3.50, you're not gonna go wrong with that. All the way on up to his #1s. So I'm excited and thank you for this one. What are you smoking?
Well, did you know that's what that was?
To me, it was Nicaraguan all day.
Okay.
And it's, I mean, I love it. I'm a big fan of anything Nicaraguan. My heart, of course, is always Fuente, which is Dominican, but I would say my heart is Fuente. I think my soul is Nicaraguan. That's sort of my split right there.
And I've got the Rocky Patel Edge, single, I think it's The original Edge is what the band said. But you know, I tend to smoke more towards the Honduran line, so I'm a big fan of Punch, and I'm a big fan of what's some of the other ones.
Do you know? And it's funny you said something very interesting, and I don't know if you know this or not. Do you know this? This is the original Edge. Okay. Not to create a discrepancy, but that's not the original Edge. So here it is.
Here we go.
Years ago,
The history part of
and
it.
there's always going to be a little cigar 101
The history part of it.
when Rocky Patel, which is an amazing individual and a fantastic brand manager, and truly one of the most iconic guys when it comes to branding and putting product out there that is like, I mean, just on point. When he approached Omar Ortiz in Honduras, actually in Nicaragua, let me say that. He says, I need something that's well balanced, well priced, that I can put out. So Omar Ortiz was the creator of the original blend of the Rocky Patel Edge. So today, well, let me backtrack. So at some point, who knows what happened? Rocky said, well, I'm going to move my operations to Honduras. So he owned the name and everything that came along with the branding, but a lot of companies that blend for you own the blends. They may not own the name or the brands or stuff, but they are proprietors of that blend. You cannot take that blend unless you outright by contract or contractual agreement say, now you're going to sell me that and I'm going to move on with it. So that did not happen in this case. So there is a cigar out there, which is called the Omar Ortiz standard. It's about $5.50 to $6. And it is actually distributed by Altares. And that is the original Edge blend. Now, when you look at some of the information around that one, if you look side by side, all the countries of origin that go into that blend are identical except for one thing. The Rocky Patel one will have proprietary blend afterwards. So something had to be retweaked to make it different. But the bulk of that cigar has not deviated one iota from the original blend created by Omar Ortiz. So if you are, how much did you spend on that one?
This was about the same as Mike's. This was $7.75.
Okay, so if you say I don't want to spend $8, let's say $8 in tax, and you want to mess around and say, well, I want to get an Omar Ortiz, I defy you to tell me which is which. It's impossible unless you are so knowledgeable about both blends that you can pick the nuances and the differences. I have smoked them side by side, back to back, and I'll tell you what, I can't. To me, it's the same exact damn cigar. And the funny thing is, the Omar Ortiz branding is quite similar. That one has the band on the foot, if I'm not mistaken, right? So the Omar Ortiz also has the band on the foot, but it says Omar Ortiz all the way around it. So just a little something tip. If you guys don't want to spend that extra couple of bucks, but still get the same cigar or same experience, if you will, you can do that. And you're supporting now two great brands. Nothing wrong with that. I like options.
Yeah.
But thank you for this experience, dude. I mean, I'm really very happy with what I'm smoking. So what are you smoking? Oh, I think I know you're smoking that
La Bomba.
La Bomba.
The Warhead 2.
Tell you what, man, that 601 La Bomba. If you need a hug, we're all here for you.
Yeah, it'll sit you down.
So far, it's not as strong as I thought. I mean, it's because I already smoked one before this, but we'll see.
So
We'll get into it.
that one has. Before we get into any kind of wrap ups, because we're gonna maybe run a few minutes longer today, because we got Dave here. Do you know who the original creator of that blend was?
No idea.
Okay, so Eric Espinosa, of course, the owner of the 601 brand.
Oh, yeah.
Some years back, it was if you ever find a box, keep this in mind, guys, that is a 601 anything, but behind it, on the seal of provenance, on this, which tells you origin, where it comes from, or anyone in the back, right? You see E.O. That's Espinosa Ortega. So his business partners is Eric Espinosa and Eddie Ortega. They came out about 10 years ago with the brand 601, and there was also Mi Barrio. There's a couple de Murcielago, the original. All these original, these blends that are out there, these brands that are out there, they were all conceived, created by the man who has 3 number one cigars out there right now. That was Pepin Garcia, of course. And the 601, I had the pleasure of smoking an original blend because I found boxes of all places in South Carolina that had never been opened, and they were all with the factory in the back that said not only EO Cigars Espinosa and Ortega, but they had them from the My Father Cigar Factory. So they were absolutely well aged, beastly, and I think the only reason I was able to smoke those powerhouse cigars, because in those days they were kick you in the gonad cigars, was the aging had sort of melded and blended that cigar. That, if I'm not mistaken, is from AJ Fernandez, collaboration with Eric Espinosa out of his God, what is the one that has the bull that he does? The San Lotano factories as well. So great tobacco comes out of there. And anything that AJ has his hand on it, of course, can't go wrong with that. So I don't think you're going to have a kick-ass experience like, oh my God, the nicotine is killing me, but it's still a very fairly stout cigar. So just, putting that out there, 2 cents worth. Look at that. Won't he do it? Thank you, Dustin, for watching. We appreciate you jumping on board. Listen, everybody, thank you for your time. Honestly, we've done over an hour. I don't even know why you guys are still there watching. I would say, I don't. The numbers on that little screen, I can never gauge them. But every time we get off, we have had well over 100 views, and almost last show we did was 200 plus views. So for anybody that really jumps on board, even if it's just for a few minutes to see my 2 cohorts, and today we have a great guy here with us. Thank you. I truly appreciate that. Your cigar that you were smoking earlier, the Doña Noli Premium House Blend, $2.20, $55 for a 25 count. We're doing fantastically with that at that price point. Do you believe it smokes at 220, or if I had said, hey, this is a $6 cigar, would that been okay with you? Or that's one thing I wanted to ask you. What are your, when you got it, you said, you know what, if you had never told me the price, what would you think that cigar would have been?
Yeah, easily $6. No problem. I ain't no problem paying $6 for something that smokes good, it's quality construction, and doesn't taste like shit. So,
I know this guy out there that I love him dearly. He's a fantastic individual. Some of his reviews are simply it sucks or it doesn't suck. So there you go. To add to that, it doesn't smell like shit. So fantastic. I could not be happier with that. Daryl Everson, thank you very much for the reviews that you did. 4.3 out of 5 on the natural. Like I said, I never even ever in my life ever got grades that good in school. The Maduro got a 3.8 out of 5. And I'll be honest with you guys. I know that you guys like the Maduros. I found myself smoking more and more of the natural. There's something about it that I've come to enjoy it because I think it allows me to smoke more of it throughout the day than maybe the Maduro once, a day or whatnot. So I like the natural a lot. It's up to you guys. I woke up yesterday and there was an order for 2 Maduros and 2 naturals for a great guy out of Mississippi. So there you go. He wants to just have fun and get some good cigars in his humidor. It is, as Seamus also said earlier, it's D-Day. If you have, if you're a relative, if you're a child or a grandchild or anybody that was a person who served on such a historic day in history, thank you. And God bless you and your family. Like I said, otherwise it'd be man in the high castle shit right now. We are coming in today live to you guys from, of course, the compound, the cigar shed, the Cigar Friendly Studios. We will be opening softly because it's getting pushed back, but softly we're going to be open and operational on the 15th at the new location. We're very excited about that. It is going to be in the heart of Statesville, North Carolina, at the crossroads of I-40 and I-77. We've been operating out of our old shop. We had to close due to coronavirus. And I know a lot of great tobacco shops, cigar shops, and lounges have been impacted hugely with this. So remember, support everywhere you can, man. You never know who right now is in need of that support. There's been a lot that we have had to go through. There's been a lot that we have had to deal with. There's a lot that's going on right now in this country. Currently, we're not going to get into that. I refuse to. All I say is, man, you know what? This is my equalizer, baby. This level's my playing field with anybody from an attorney to an electrician to a plumber to a CEO. This can level that playing field. What do you think, Dave?
Absolutely.
We've smoked well-priced cigars. How much was that one when you bought it? Do you remember?
No, I got
$8-10 maybe.
probably closer to 10. I was down in Greenville, North Carolina, and stopped by a local shop there just to see what they had in their humidor. Just grabbed a few sticks that I haven't had before.
Was it Boda pipes?
No, I think it was like Blackbeard cigars or something like that. I can't recall off the top of my head. I want to say it was like, as most things in Greenville, a lot of pirate themes going on. But yeah, so I went in their humidor and just picked it up, and probably been sitting in my humidor now for 2-3 weeks. So I figured I'd give it a shot.
Man, Seamus, I want to say thank you very, very much, man, for these cigars.
Yes,
Very, very nice. I think you now gave me an idea. Maybe next Saturday I'm going to do similar, and I'm not going to tell you guys, and we're going to just sit down and enjoy blind cigars and maybe get some talking into them and let people know about them. I'm a great believer. You don't have to smoke expensive to smoke really, really good. We're all basically blue-collar guys. We're regular workers. This is the show about nothing. This is the show about nothing. Mateo Pensa, what's going on, Big Daddy? Mateo is a rep for Protocol Cigars, and good guy, fantastic individual. God bless you for all that you do in this industry as well. This past Wednesday, we met with a really interesting individual, and we had him as a guest, Bruce Bush. He is doing a nice and very altruistic currently, because we're not going to go into, right now he's really doing a lot of help to the cigar places that are looking to get some notoriety. Man, he's putting
Fighting
them.
a good fight.
Yeah, man,
Yes.
he's putting them on the YouTube channel. He's got a lot of great videos of fun places that you may never have heard about, but you also may want to support as well. And he works for Cigar Journal magazine, an international publication. So thank you for that. We've had a fantastic week. We are going to round out today by once again saying thank you to everybody. Thank you, especially Dave. You drove like 40 some odd minutes or more probably to get here. Thank you to you guys. At the end of the day, God bless everybody. The last of it is, we smoke really, really well here. We hope that you guys do too. On behalf of Seamus, Mike, Dave, myself, and everybody, God bless you. Enjoy yourselves. Have a great weekend, by the way, and keep doing it. Keep doing it the right way. Take care. Have a good one, and share. For God's sakes, share. Damn it. All right.